Welcome back to ABS Supply. This is Jason Johnson. We were having a conversation today about why does Schmidt have so many grit valves? And what the hell is the difference in them anyway? So we thought we'd put it on video because there is one valve that will be right for you, and it depends on what you're doing and your application of blasting, who you are, where you are, and what you blast with. But we'll cover this. Stick with me. So let's start with the most basic, the one that most people start with, your training wheels, how you look at it. It's the MicroValve right here. This happens to be the Schmidt Micro 3. Normally used in pressure release applications where the blast pot blows down every time. Why would I want to use this? Well, it's a simple valve. There's no air to operate it, no to run it. But the most common reason is we have a hopper that feeds it. If I'm in a blast room all suited up and blasting and my pot goes empty, if I have a pressure hold pot, I got to unsuit, run outside, have 2 cigarettes, refill my pot, and then come back in. So normally we see this valve. Let's cut over to here. So normally the Schmidt Micro 3 media valve is used in a pressure release application where there is a hopper feeding the pot, hence our pot riser lid on here. So if you have a big jumbo hopper full of steel grit, coal slag, whatever it is you're using, this pot, when you let go of the trigger, it blows down every time. So it automatically refills while you're walking around the part, while you're moving a part, doing something, flipping something over to blast, the pot's refilling. So blast rooms, commonly used, simple application. Okay, so the Schmidt Micro 3, ideal in combinations where pots blow down, pressure release, comboed with the combo valve right here. You'll normally see these together. Hoppers refilling, or you just want an inexpensive, less moving parts operation, but you are fine when you're on the trigger that the pot's going to blow down a lot. If you're not starting and stopping all the time, a pressure release pot is just fine. It's the starting and the stopping on this that is inefficient. When you're on the trigger running and gunning, it's all good. These setups blast exactly the same as these. We have the same hardened parts, the same metering capabilities. It's just pressure hold versus pressure release. So that was a key point I kind of hit on. I don't know if you noticed that, but the Schmidt valves, one thing that makes them unique or better than a lot of the competition, the parts are tungsten carbide. The parts are hardened steel. They are not regular mild steel, much like many of the competitive parts that abrasives run through. They'll use brass, they'll use regular steel. They do not last as long. Grit wears things out. These last longer. Plus, the precision of the metering easily saves 10% over any other valve I've seen on the market. Just how tightly you can control the abrasive and the flow of the media. So, let's talk about pressure hold. We got 2 options. Why should I use one over the other? This is the OG Thompson II. It's been around for close to 20 years. Great valve. Still sell a lot of them new. Fantastic in the field. This is the newer little brother. Hesitate to call it that, but only in stature is it littler. It is the TeraValve. Both these are great valves. Why should I use one over the other? This one happens to be about $200 less, but don't let that fool you. This is a little dynamo, this valve. I want to talk about this. They have something in here called wear sleeve technology. And if we look at this, wiper bar technology inside of this sleeve, every time the piston is going up and down, there are wipers in there cleaning the dust off so it doesn't migrate up into here where it shouldn't be. Thus, polishing that tungsten carbide piston, making it last longer, be smoother, and more efficient as it breaks in. Great little valve. Where should I use this? Easy. Anything fine grit, 120 grit and over, absolutely. But it works down to 24 grit. So 24 grit on up, fantastic valve. And any system that doesn't have good reclaim, so you're getting dust in it, you want this. Also, up to number 8 nozzles. The volume of the size of the throat, anything over a number 8 or ½ inch nozzle, probably not the right valve. So, to recap, where should I use this? 24 grit and finer media. Number 8 nozzle and smaller, And this excels when we get to the fine medias, 120 grit and on up to 320. Fantastic little valve, great value. Third valve, Thompson II. Been my favorite valve for almost 20 years running now. Most durable valve in the industry, best media control, hands down the best value. Despite the price tag, this thing will make you money and last longer than anything on the market because of the tungsten carbide heated parts and the construction and design of the valve. So let's talk a little bit more about this one. I think I got a cutout right here. This valve, tungsten carbide sleeve, triple seal up here, does not have the wiper bar in the one I'm showing you, but guess what? They have added the wiper bar technology from the TeraValve to this. You can now get the Thompson II in an XL, probably the ultimate valve for durability, reliability ever built in the blasting industry, hands down. So where do we use this one? Let's cut to the chase. Coarse grit media. Absolutely. Anything as coarse as you can run through it. Large nozzles, on up to 10s and 12s, fantastic. Pressure hold applications generally, but you say it's a normally closed valve. How do I run that in an open? You can run that in the pressure release. I'll show you in a second. If we combine it with the combo valve, one of the most durable, reliable valves in the industry, we can make this a pressure release pot, just like our micro combo. But now, because we have a pressure release valve, we have the availability with solenoids to isolate air and grit during blast or just air for blow off and cleaning your parts afterwards. Fantastic application. What we normally put in, these two valves in combination in every blast room with an abrasive cutoff switch on the wall, your Staples easy button. Hit it, shut the grit off, blow your part off in the room, leave all the dust in there, and go back to blasting with the hit of a button again. All right, so we just talked about Thompson II, one of my favorite valves, pressure hold pots, and combined with the combo, we can make it into pressure release. So let's talk about one of my favorite pots of all time over here, what we call the Schmidt contractor pot. This right here happens to be the Mac Daddy. This pot is set up with a Thompson II tungsten carbide sleeve. It's a pressure hold system, so when you let off the dead man, it stays pressurized. You are not blowing down all the air in the pot, losing all that compressed air, building moisture, losing energy. And it is coupled with a Union M ball valve. You will see this right here. So I can spin this nut, drop the grit valve after shutting the grit off. Because when does your grit valve fail? It always fails when the pot is 100% full. It never fails when it's about ready to empty. So we don't have to lose all that media on the ground. Shut the grit off, drop the valve, clean out your Jolly Rancher, your cigarette butt, whatever's in there, fix the valve, go back to work. We didn't lose any downtime and we didn't have to shovel media. Now, you'll notice one other trick pot we did with this contractor pot. This is kind of an ABS special over here that we do. We set this pot up for low pressure blasting. You'll notice that there is a regulator. But in front of the regulator, we took the pressure for our valves. Why is that? Well, because the Thompson II valve takes about 70 PSI to operate. If you go below that, this pot will not run. Well, what if I want to blast my 65 Mustang at 55 PSI, like we're gonna do here on Halloween? That's a video coming up. You can, because I am gonna take my pressure to run my Thompson II at full air compressor, my 125 coming off my compressor. I'm gonna take it, and then I can regulate this down to 20, 30, 40, 50 PSI, whatever pressure I want, because the valves are operating at full PSI and the pot can, and my blast pressure can be anything I want. Ideal optimization. You talk about a pot that'll do everything. Coupled on our blast skid here with the 400 CFM aftercooler, the clean air box from Bullard for breathing, and all the hoses and setups, this guy is ready to go to work. Thanks for joining me today. I hope I've cleared up some of the questions. I didn't mean to make you an expert, but I want to tell you why they have so many different valves and why they're right for you. And if you have questions, just call us at ABS. We're glad to go through it with you.
This happens to be the Schmidt Micro 3. You'll notice we have 3 blue valves. You'll notice we have all valves with blue knobs. So, You'll notice all three of these have blue knobs. So when we ask you, do you have a valve with a blue knob? It doesn't just mean, forget it. So let's start with the MicroValve right here. Micro 3 by Schmidt. Simple, durable, usually used in, no, always used in pressure release applications where we're letting off. No, that's not true, because if you go with the Key Houston and the frickin' guillotine suicide valves, you can use it in a pressure hold. So that's not true. Let's start with the Schmidt. Let's start with the Schmidt Micro 3. Yes, that's right, the Schmidt Micro 3.